You're watching Good Day Tampa Bay.
If you knew how they fled the old world to build a new one and never let anyone tell them no, if you knew what they did, what would you do?
Dramatic commercial from Ancestry.com makes you want to go out and find out all about your relatives. But a warning this morning, some law enforcement investigators are using those databases to catch criminals. And James Giardina is here with us to explore this topic. In Studio A right now, because over in Studio B, it's pretty noisy. Ask a Lawyer is continuing. Folks from the Hillsborough Bar come in once a month and take legal questions for free. So thank you.
Yes,
first
my
of
pleasure.
all, for doing that. And thanks to all of our lawyers.
Call in with your questions.
So we report, I think that people are aware that these DNA testing services are now being used to help catch some very bad people.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a local case where it's happened, right?
Oh, yeah, we've got the Sarasota case. Deborah Dalzell was her name. She was killed in 1999. Someone broke into her house. The case went cold for 20 years. They couldn't find a murderer. They had some suspects. They couldn't find exactly who it was. Fast forward to 2018, the cops get the DNA, they upload it to a site called gedmatch.com, right? It's a competitor to Ancestry and 23andMe, these kinds of sites. And they don't find the killer, but they find people that are related to the person whose DNA.
Who have sent their DNA in to find their ancestry.
That's right. They trace it back to a great-grandfather, and they look at his, his descendants. They find one guy who used to live in Sarasota, Joe, what was his last name?
Don't remember.
Anyway, so they find a guy named
Fleming.
Joe Fleming. They go to Joe Fleming's house. Turns out Joe Fleming's been dead for 22 years, but his kids still live there. So they look at the kids' DNA, and one of them is a match. Now they've found their suspected killer.
And as you say, he's on trial right now.
Oh, yeah.
On trial. Golden State Killer. Same thing happened there.
40 years difference. 1970 is when those things happened.
And here's the thing I think we need to stress is these people who are accused of these crimes are not the ones sending in their DNA. It's the evidence found at the scene from and matching with a relative.
That's right. That's right. That's what makes this so interesting. That's why this is such a new thing. 5 years ago, 2 years ago, this wasn't a thing. This all started in 2018 when some investigator got the idea, well, you know what? We don't need to find the guy directly through the DNA. We just need to find his dad directly through the DNA.
Okay, here's the question. Obviously, you're going to catch somebody who did a very bad thing.
Yeah. And
that's a good thing, even all these years later. But is there any sort of expectation of privacy in these situations?
Well, to get...
Or is it too new to even make that determination?
Well, I don't think it's too new, but I don't think you should expect it to be private, right? Because what if you give personal information that isn't your DNA to a company, but now the cops have a warrant? Right? What if they have a grand jury subpoena, right? Your information now gets to go to the police, right? And remember, your information isn't being made public by Ancestry, but it's being made available to the police should they have a valid search warrant, right? Now, GEDmatch is different. GEDmatch is more like a Wikipedia of DNA information, right? Where there isn't an expectation of privacy with GEDmatch because it matches it to everybody's DNA and it cross-references all these different databases.
I mean, how fascinating is this, right?
It's crazy, man. We live in the future.
We do. I mean, this is that Tom Cruise movie. And remember that Tom Cruise where they were solving the crimes before they had? I mean, it's not that, but you start thinking about things like that and what we've gotten to.
And it makes you wonder, right? I've got kids, and I hope I'm raising them right. I hope they never do anything wrong, right? But now, now, I wonder, right? If I update my DNA to Ancestry or something like that, am I maybe putting my own children in danger? And of course, I want to be a good citizen and help the police. Yeah. So it's a question. It's an important philosophical question that people are wondering.
That was cool.
Russell,
thanks.
Good to see you,
as
always.
Take care.